Have you ever felt that the harder you try to fix your financial situation, the more pressure you create for yourself? Maybe you've noticed that every bill, every unexpected expense, or every conversation about money seems to trigger the same cycle of worry. You tell yourself that if you just think harder, work harder, or control every detail, everything will finally feel safe. But what if that constant struggle is actually making it more difficult to notice opportunities that have been there all along? Many people describe an interesting shift when they stop treating money like an enemy they have to defeat every single day. They don't suddenly receive unexpected wealth overnight. Their responsibilities don't disappear. Yet something changes inside them. Their attention becomes clearer. Their decisions become calmer. And little by little, they begin responding to financial situations instead of reacting emotionally to them. Think about it for a moment. When your mind believes it is constantly under threat, it naturally focuses on danger. This is part of how our brains help us survive. The problem is that this same system can sometimes keep us locked into patterns that are no longer helping us. If every financial thought is connected to fear, your attention may overlook possibilities simply because it has been trained to search only for problems. Have you ever caught yourself checking your bank account with a sense of dread before even seeing the numbers? Maybe you've delayed opening an email because you expected bad news. Perhaps you've postponed making an important financial decision because uncertainty felt overwhelming. These reactions are surprisingly common. They are less about the amount of money someone has and more about the emotional meaning attached to it. Many people believe that peace comes after financial success, but others notice that a greater sense of peace often comes first, allowing them to make wiser choices that support their long-term goals. This doesn't mean pretending difficulties don't exist. It doesn't mean ignoring debts or avoiding responsibility. It simply means changing the relationship you have with money itself. Money is often treated as if it carries emotions, yet money has none. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't reward you because you are anxious. It doesn't punish you because you made a mistake years ago. The emotional weight comes from the stories we connect to it. Maybe somewhere along the way you learned that financial struggle was normal. Maybe you grew up hearing people argue about money. Maybe success seemed reserved for someone else. Over time, these experiences can become familiar mental patterns. Most people don't realize how often those patterns quietly guide everyday decisions. Imagine two people receiving exactly the same opportunity. One immediately assumes it won't work. The other becomes curious and explores it carefully. The opportunity itself hasn't changed. The difference lies in perception. Our brains constantly filter information. Every second we ignore thousands of details so we can focus on what feels most important. That filtering process is influenced by our beliefs, expectations, and emotional state. If your subconscious has learned that money always creates stress, your attention may naturally highlight evidence supporting that belief. This is one reason why habits matter so much. Not because habits magically create wealth, because habits shape attention. Attention shapes decisions, and decisions repeated day after day gradually shape results. Have you ever noticed how one small negative thought can grow throughout the day? You wake up worried about paying a bill. A small expense appears. You become frustrated. That frustration influences another decision. But here's something interesting. The same process can work in another direction. One calm decision often leads to another. One thoughtful pause creates space before reacting. One moment of awareness interrupts an automatic habit. Little by little, these moments begin adding up. Some people who practice manifestation describe this as changing their financial frequency. Others simply describe it as becoming more intentional. Whatever language feels comfortable to you, both perspectives point towards something similar. Your inner state influences where your attention goes, and attention influences your daily choices. When people talk about the law of attraction, many imagine simply wishing for money and waiting for it to appear. But many who practice these ideas describe something much more practical. They notice that when they become less consumed by fear, they start seeing possibilities they previously ignored. Perhaps they finally make the phone call they had been avoiding. Perhaps they negotiate a salary. Perhaps they begin learning a new skill. Perhaps they notice a business idea they once dismissed. These actions don't happen because the universe suddenly changed overnight. They often happen because their attention changed. Their emotional state became less crowded with constant resistance. Think about carrying a heavy backpack every day. At first, you barely notice its weight because you've become used to it. Then, one day you set it down. Suddenly, walking feels different. The road didn't become easier. You simply stopped carrying unnecessary weight. Many people experience something similar with financial stress. The struggle itself becomes another burden. When they stop fighting every single thought about money, they create room for something else. Curiosity, clarity, patience. These qualities may not sound dramatic, yet they often support better decision-making over time. Neuroplasticity reminds us that the brain continues adapting throughout life. Every repeated thought strengthens certain mental pathways. Every new response begins creating another. This doesn't happen instantly. It happens through repetition, day after day, little by little. Imagine replacing one automatic reaction. Instead of immediately thinking, "I'll never have enough," you simply notice the thought. You don't argue with it. You don't believe it completely. You simply observe it. That small pause changes something. You move from reacting automatically to becoming aware. Awareness is where new choices begin. Have you ever watched clouds move across the sky? You don't chase them. You don't stop them. You simply notice them passing. Some people find it helpful to treat financial thoughts the same way. Not every thought deserves complete trust. Some are simply old habits repeating themselves. What if your mind has been trying to protect you using patterns that no longer serve your current life? Few people notice this. The subconscious values familiarity more than improvement. If stress has become familiar, calm can actually feel uncomfortable at first. That's why changing financial habits sometimes feels strange. Not because they're wrong, because they're new. This is also why consistency matters more than intensity. One huge burst of motivation often fades. Small daily practices tend to stay. Over time, they become familiar. Eventually, they become automatic. Self-regulation plays an important role here. It is the ability to pause before reacting, to notice emotions without letting them make every decision, to respond intentionally. Imagine receiving unexpected financial news. Your first emotional reaction appears immediately. That part is natural. But what happens next? Do you immediately assume the worst? Or do you give yourself enough space to evaluate the situation calmly? That pause may last only a few seconds. Yet those few seconds can influence the decisions that follow. People often underestimate the power of slowing down. Our culture frequently encourages constant urgency. Everything feels immediate. Everything feels critical. Money conversations especially tend to carry emotional pressure. But calmer thinking often leads to clearer action. Some people also enjoy using quiet moments to reflect or meditate before making financial decisions. Others listen to relaxing music or gentle sound frequencies. Some believe certain frequencies help create a calmer mental state. While experiences vary from person to person, many report that slowing down in this way helps increase awareness and reduce emotional reactivity. The important part isn't the specific method. It's creating enough mental space to think clearly. Without that space, fear often makes decisions for us. With that space, we begin making choices aligned with our long-term goals. There is another reason this matters. When we constantly fight reality, we spend enormous mental energy resisting what already exists. Acceptance is often misunderstood. Accepting today's financial situation doesn't mean giving up. It means seeing it clearly. Only then can you decide what comes next. Imagine standing in a dark room looking for the light switch. Panic makes the search harder. Taking one slow breath helps you notice what was already within reach. Money challenges can feel similar. The calmer your attention becomes, the easier it may be to notice practical next steps. Tonight, before you go to sleep, try something simple. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted for just a few minutes. Take a slow breath, then bring to mind your current financial situation without trying to change it. Notice the thoughts that appear. Notice the emotions. Notice the words your inner voice uses. Don't argue with them. Don't replace them. Simply observe them with curiosity, almost as if you were listening to someone else's conversation. Then quietly ask yourself one question. If I stopped fighting money for just one day, what would I pay attention to instead? You don't need an immediate answer. Simply let the question stay with you. Tomorrow, notice whether you approach one financial decision with a little more calm than usual. Many people are surprised by how much they discover through simple observation, repeated consistently. Small moments like these may gradually strengthen your awareness. And greater awareness often leads to wiser choices. Little by little, today's observations can become tomorrow's habits. If you found this reflection helpful, subscribe to the channel and join us as we continue building practical daily habits for a healthier relationship with money and personal growth. Share your thoughts in the comments. What was the first feeling that came up when you imagined stopping the fight with money? Your experience may encourage someone else who is on a similar path. Come back tomorrow for the next step in this daily practice. Each video introduces one simple exercise that builds naturally on the previous one, showing how consistent attention can support meaningful change over time. You'll also find additional resources in the description and the pinned comment if you'd like to continue exploring these ideas at your own pace. Remember, lasting progress often comes from small actions repeated consistently rather than one big effort.